But here's the part nobody talks about. There are actually benefits to breastfeeding while pregnant.
Welcome, Waddlers. I'm Alicia.
And I'm Christian. And today we're talking about something that makes Google panic, moms spiral, and doctors say it depends.
Breastfeeding while pregnant. Because apparently some of you got a positive test, looked at your toddler on the boob, and thought, so is it time to unplug you or... And suddenly everyone has an opinion. Your mom, your aunt, the Facebook group with a sunflower profile picture. So today we're just breaking it down. The risk, the benefits, and what doctors usually say, and what's just internet panic.
Let's start with the part everyone jumps to, the risks. Because the second people hear breastfeeding while pregnant, they whisper, like you said the name no one shall speak, Voldemort. Big concern, uterine contractions. Breastfeeding releases oxytocin, the same hormone involved in labor. Now, before you throw the nursing pillow across the room, in a healthy, low-risk pregnancy, your uterus is usually like, cool story, hormones. Not today. For most people, that oxytocin isn't strong enough to cause labor. But doctors may advise against breastfeeding during pregnancy if you have a history of preterm labor, are carrying multiples, have cervical issues, or are experiencing bleeding or pregnancy complications. Next risk, nutritional depletion. Your body is feeding you, a growing fetus, and a tiny human who thinks boobs are a 24/7 buffet. If you're not eating enough calories, protein, and fluids, you're going to feel it. Fatigue, dizziness, and irritability, and the sudden urge to cry because someone breathed too loud. And last, nipple sensitivity and aversion. This one isn't dangerous, but it is real. Hormones can make breastfeeding go from bonding and sweet to why does this feel like sandpaper and rage. And that doesn't make you a bad mom. It makes you pregnant. But here's the part nobody talks about. There are actually benefits to breastfeeding while pregnant, and yes, some of them help you.
Okay, deep breath. Because the pros might surprise you. First, emotional security for your older child. Pregnancy is a huge change. Their whole world is about to be rocked and they don't even know it. Nursing can stay familiar and comfort when everything else feels new. Second, easier transition after the baby arrives. Some parents continue nursing both kids, called tandem nursing. Others naturally wean during pregnancy. Either way, breastfeeding while pregnant can make that transition gentler. Third, your body is already in milk-making mode, which sounds impressive until you realize your boobs are basically double shift with no lunch break. Fourth, bonding. For some parents, breastfeeding while pregnant becomes quiet, intentional time for their older child, especially when pregnancy exhaustion hits. Now, real talk. Milk supply often drops during pregnancy. Milk might also change its taste. Some toddlers respond by nursing less, weaning themselves, or acting personally betrayed. And all of those are completely normal. If breastfeeding is still working for you physically and emotionally, that matters. You don't owe anyone a timeline or an explanation. So, what do doctors actually say about this? Because listen to your body sounds nice and all, but it's also very vague.
Here's the medical bottom line. Most doctors agree. Breastfeeding during a healthy, uncomplicated pregnancy is generally safe, but it is not one size fits all. Doctors usually recommend eating extra calories, staying well hydrated, monitoring fatigue, weight loss, and contractions, and checking in regularly. They may advise stopping or limiting breastfeeding if you have pregnancy complications, you're experiencing pain or bleeding, your body is clearly overwhelmed. And here's the most important part. Stopping breastfeeding does not mean that you failed, you gave up, or you chose one child over another. It means you made a medical and emotional decision based on your body. You can breastfeed while pregnant. You can wean during pregnancy. You can stop abruptly because your nipples said absolutely not. All of these are very valid.
If you're breastfeeding while pregnant or trying to decide if you should, you're not weird, you're not selfish, and your body is doing something incredible. Bye.